Mining company PP Gemstones has accused Assmang, a prominent mining company jointly owned by Patrice Motsepe's African Rainbow Minerals, of carrying out illegal mining activities unabated. This as the ongoing dispute involving a rare and valuable gemstone known as sugilite continues. PP Gemstone is a permit holder of mining rights of the mineral and says it has already lost sugilite that belongs to them and illegally mined by Assmang, worth more than 3 billion rand. The company says their concerns to government have fallen on deaf ears. SABC News economics reporter Katlego Legodi joins us live for more. Thanks very much for joining us, Katlego. So what exactly is PP Gemstones saying?
A very good afternoon to you, Nompu, and to our viewers at home. Well, you find us in Melrose Arch this afternoon, just at the back of a press briefing by PP Gemstone. This is a mining company that is operating in the rare minerals space. You find us here because there's been a long-standing dispute here with a company called Assmang. This is a PP Gemstones versus Assmang that we saw even playing out in the course. We understand here that Assmang is a mining company that is partly owned by businessman Patrice Motsepe that has been in a dispute with PP Gemstones over this rare mineral called sugilite. It's a gemstone called sugilite, Nompu, that forms part of the critical or precious commodities where we find them in part of these mines across the country. So we understand that in the country right now, there's only one company that has a mining right or a license to mine this particular precious commodity. That is PP Gemstone, but they found themselves in a dispute here with Assmang over this precious mineral or precious commodity, whereby they're even saying that they've reached out to the department here to try and intervene, accusing Assmang of illegally mining this gemstone and taking away from the work of this particular company, PP Gemstone. We hear that this is a matter that has even ended up in the courts, Nompu, and we've seen them now attend to the media in a desperate move here to try or less raise awareness here in terms of what has been happening here. We are told, Nompu, that it's a desperate situation, looking at the fact that there's about 300 to 500 billion rand that is lost monthly by this illegality that is playing out within this space. But I'm going to bring the CEO of PP Gemstone, this being Mr. Pitso, who'll just give us the sense of why we find ourselves here. And we see that it's a race against time as well, Mr. Pitso, just looking at the fact that your license is about to expire, and it doesn't look like you've gotten the best out of you having that license because you haven't been able to mine this commodity. Welcome to the SABC. Maybe give us a sense of where we find ourselves here and what is at the heart of this dispute between you and Assmang.
Greetings to the listeners out there, and greetings to you, and thank you for this opportunity. In essence, we find ourselves in this particular space of a legal dispute between Assmang and PP Gemstones as a result of greed and abuse of power by the political associate who are using the state connection and contacts to frustrate a developing company that is namely PP Gemstones. And we find ourselves in a space whereby we've approached the MRA, which is the regulator. And our view has always been respectfully so to say that as a regulator, they should play their cards, relevant to this particular matter. And openly so, bring all the parties to the table to come, to try to coexist in this particular gemstone that has been exported outside South Africa, and the money has not been contributing to the fiscal economy of the country. And our plea and our, with due respect, always being to say that we needed to be afforded this opportunity. We went through all the relevant necessary process by applying for the mining permits, which were rightfully granted by the regulator, which is the MRA. But as a young developing company, we have been frustrated by the kind of monster that has been, and the system that has been put across by the certain individuals who are connected and using the muscle of the power and the money to frustrate the people. Fearfully so, fearlessly so, we are of view, and we are openly, to some sort of a discussion with the company so that we can sort of meet each other and come and sort of have a solution to this particular ongoing legal battle that has been going for more than 4 years. So that's always been our attitude and position, respectfully so.
We understand that the mine is partially owned by businessman Patrice Motsepe. Have there been attempts to try reach out to him, or even the Africa Rainbow Minerals, to try by all means to get a sense of how then you can meet each other and coexist within this space? Because our understanding as well is that the discovery of this mineral was at a site whereby they were already mining there. Have you tried to reach out to them and try by all means to more or less iron out this dispute without it having to even land in the courts?
Look, with the number of concerted efforts that we, PP Gemstones, have undertaken to try to reach out to the shareholders of Assmang. Bear in mind the dispute is Assmang and PP Gemstones, which is Assmang is owned by ARM. ARM is owned by the prominent businessman, which is Patrice Motsepe. We've been very flexible, and we respectfully so on a number of occasions try to reach out to the relevant close people who are closer to one of the shareholders, which is Mr. Patrice Motsepe. And unfortunately, all our efforts are in vain, and we've actually been dismissed, unfairly dismissed, and being insulted to be told that we are just a young boy in this particular space. And actually, Assmang will fight this particular matter until the last court, the high court of this particular land. Hence, that's why we find ourselves in this particular space.
Let's talk the losses. I know very well that you've even mentioned that monthly we see these losses playing out, and you're even alleging that these are minerals that are being stolen from South Africa and being taken out of the country in ways that are unscrupulous in this particular manner. Just give us a sense of the losses here, and also the personal losses to PP Gemstone, because we understand that this has been an ongoing legal battle that would be at your cost.
Look, from the commercial point of view and business point of view, there's a tangible evidence at the OR Tambo International Airport of the goods that are detained and seized for multiple shipments over the period of 6 months that are worth more than 800 million to 1 billion rand. So you could just tell with that particular figure of 6 months, the goods that are detained over the period of 6 months at OR Tambo Airport, we are talking about multiple rent, business deals that are happening under the carpets. And governments are not saying anything to respond in those particular transactions that are not even adding to the fiscal economy of the country. Our attitude, our view that as a PP Gemstones, we would like to have some sort of a working relationship. We believe that the Assmang should afford this developing company an opportunity to use this particular commodity as a passion. And from the medium to long-term plan, we can use the same commodity to beneficiate locally. But at the certain point, this kind of commodity, we should put a proper regulation process in order. And the money and the proceeds from this particular should contribute to the fiscal economy of our country.
Yeah. Mr. Motsepe, out of time, I have to let you go, but are we doing an injustice if I don't ask you as to where do we place the Minister Gwede Mantashe, in this dispute? Have you tried to reach out to him? He is a regulator, or the department is the regulator where this process is concerned. What are they saying to you?
Look, I've met with Mr. Gwede Mantashe personally on more than once, and to request him to intervene and to make a call on this particular legal dispute that has been going on for more than years. And this thing has resulted in to a developing company to suffer unjust, and justice not served. Unfortunately, all our efforts are in vain. To this date, we have not received any positive response from the minister. And we've went from the Minister to Public Protector's Office to seeking justice. To date, we have not. We even further went to the Portfolio Committee at Parliament requesting the assistance in this particular matter. So to date, we have not received any tangible result in respect of this kind of material.
Mr. Motsepe, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Pitso Motsepe coming through there as the CEO of PP Gemstones, and we have reached out to the Department of Minerals and Petroleum here, the department saying that they are following up on what is happening here, and I understand as well that Assmang will this afternoon be giving us a right of reply as well, looking at what has been happening here. But a race against time, because as we understand it as well, Nompu, is that this particular license of PP Gemstones is expiring in November this year, and there is an ongoing court process. And if then that license expires and it's not renewed, they stand a chance here of not having even benefited from acquiring the license in the first place. Nompu, it's back to you in studio.
All right. Thank you so much for that story, my colleague there, Katlego Legodi.